Well, ladies and gentlemen, after many months of talking about this and DEI detected and all that, the website DEI detected is now officially launched by KABRUTUS, the creator of the Steam curator page of Sweet Baby Ink detected. This entire debacle, this entire thing that's been going on for a couple of months now, this is the culmination of it. DEI detected is going to be a very important website moving forward for the culture war.
Let's go!
And honestly, I mean that in a lot of different ways. I'm just ultimately happy to see KABRUTUS see his vision through and just go forward and move with the website. And I know it's been worked on for a while now, and obviously there's a lot more that needs to be done with it. There's games that need to be added. He already knows this. And you have these weirdos online trying to claim that, you don't have God of War on here. You don't have Spider-Man on here. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be because those games were successful? Nah, bro, don't worry. Those games are still going to go on the website, whether they were successful or not. You just are trying to get a quick win because you know that the loss is coming. You know that you've been experiencing losses left and right, and you're basically coping over it. So we have now an article here from Phantom Pulse with a headline that reads, Diversity Buster, DEIdetected.com launches as game curator KABRUTUS speaks out on DEI in gaming. So let's get into this article, guys, from Phantom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It says, in a recent controversy that set the gaming world ablaze, the Steam curator group, Sweet Baby Ink Detected, found itself at the center of a heated debate between gamers and gaming journalists. The group, created by Brazilian gamer KABRUTUS, aims to inform consumers about games that have been influenced by DEI ideology during their development process. Now it has launched a curated website that provides a full listing of ESG and DEI-infused games. Now, again, to be very clear, there are games that need to be added to this website. Not all the games are there currently on the website, but over time, it will be added once it is verified that there was DEI ideology and Sweet Baby Inc. and companies like Black Girl Gamers and all this nonsense. Once it's been verified that they have actually worked on these games, it doesn't really matter what manner of which they worked on the game. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, people know what these companies stand for, and it's not about boycotting either, okay? A lot of people will take it as a boycott, but that's not what it's about. This is transparency, ladies and gentlemen. There's absolutely nothing and zero wrong with knowing who worked on what game. The gaming industry likes to work in the shadows. They've openly admitted this. Many people openly admitted this in the mainstream gaming industry. They love to work in the shadows for many different reasons, and one of the reasons, quite simply, is that they can get away with more things if they work in the shadows. If they can keep things hidden up until release day, they absolutely will. So this website basically offers that transparency where the companies themselves are not offering that transparency. They allow us to understand and know who worked on what game, and quite simply, I think that's a great thing. Now, obviously, people who like to work in the shadows will not think that's a great thing, and they're going to be heavily against this, and they're going to try to tear it down, or they're going to try to defame it to some extent by calling it something that it's not, which is like racist, phobe, whatever. They'll figure out a word and they'll attach it to it. It says Sweet Baby Inc., a narrative consultation company focused on over-diversifying the gaming industry, has been a key nemesis in this discussion. Some argue that their involvement has led to the forced inclusion of diversity in established franchises, while others believe these changes are necessary and should be applauded. A March interview with KABRUTUS revealed that he started the website DEI Detected to have complete control over the content without relying on platforms like Steam. And I agree. Because at the end of the day, even though Steam is great, don't get me wrong, Steam is still affiliated with Sweet Baby Inc. to some extent, okay? They're still affiliated with them. You really can't trust them 100%. You can trust them more than other websites, I will say that, but to give them 100% trust and give everything to them, I think that's stupid. I think you should have your own thing, which he does now, and that way he can control all of it and be the arbiter of it. It says, when asked about the group's impact on the industry, KABRUTUS stated that his primary goal was to let people know if a game has any involvement with Sweet Baby Inc. He also addressed the alleged attempts by a Sweet Baby Inc. employee to have the group taken down and his personal Steam account banned, suggesting that this context was omitted from media coverage because it didn't align with the approved narrative. They want to gaslight people into believing that me and the members of my awesome community are a bunch of bigots, let's put it that way, and they don't mind lying to achieve that goal, which is true. They don't, which is why we call ourselves the Bigot Army, because we essentially took the word for them. If you're going to call us bigots, Let's go. Let's play. Let's rock. Let's rock with it. Now, what do you got? Now, what do you got? What do you have now? Aside from that word, what else are you going to do? What else do you think will give you power, ladies and gentlemen? Those words mean absolutely fuck all. It says, on the topic of diversity in video games, KABRUTUS expressed his belief that it is good when done properly and in a way that makes sense within the context of the story. He cited examples like Gears of War and Street Fighter as franchises that have successfully incorporated diverse characters, and I would agree with that. I'm perfectly fine if a game has a diverse cast of characters or not. It would depend on what kind of story it tells. For example, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Thing, directed by John Carpenter. There are 0 female characters in this movie, and it wasn't an issue because it works in that context. Diversity is good when done properly, like in Gears of War, etc., etc., etc. He also emphasized that companies like Sweet Baby Inc. should focus on building new franchises and growing their own audience instead of attempting to convert well-established audiences. I will agree with all of that, honestly. And you know what? The reason why they corrupt known established audiences is because, let's be real, an old quote from Tolkien, evil cannot create anything, right? Evil cannot create, they can only corrupt what's already been created. That has been an old saying, but it stands true still to this day. Evil is incapable of being able to make anything on their own. They can only corrupt what's already been made by better and good sources. So unfortunately for us, we know and we have seen that these woke-ass consultation companies that are basically just companies that exist to steal money from the government, right? That's really what it's for, to steal money from the Canadian government, essentially, and take easy funding from them. It's very much the case that they are just simply here to corrupt everything they possibly can, because if you tell them to go make something of their own, they're going to look at you like you got two heads. It says KABRUTUS also shared his plans to expand the DEI-detected website to include other companies accused of forcing DEI or ESG into video games. And that's what we need to do. It shouldn't just be Sweet Baby Inc. It's great that Sweet Baby Inc. started this whole nonsense. That's fantastic. But let's expand a little bit. Let's not expand too much, but let's expand a few other companies that are really prominent in the gaming industry. And let's make sure people know what they work on as well. Because ultimately what this is for transparency. People need to know who works on what. Certain companies have certain reputations and people need to know. That's basically it. If you know about the company, but you don't necessarily know about the games they worked on, there's nothing wrong with telling people what games they worked on. It says, I intend to include all those companies who work as DEI consultants, aka political agenda consultants, in the games they work on. Basically, the same that I already do on Steam curated page, listing the games that have DEI implemented, but this time around, coming from many others in the DEI consultancy companies, while also promoting good, mainly indie games that respect us gamers by not trying to re-educate us, virtue signal, and influence the way that we see the world. These will be referred to as DEI-free games. So not only is he going to do DEI detected, but he's also going to give you a list of DEI-free games. That's great. Like, we need that. We need to know what games are free from this nonsense, because there is going to be a mass amount of gamers that are going to be looking for new content to consume, because once you realize just how infested the gaming industry is, you're going to realize very quickly that a lot of these games are not going to be your cup of tea once you find out who's been working on it, right? So you're going to be looking for games to fill that void, and there's plenty of games out there from people who are genuinely trying to just do a good job and not take DEI money. They deserve all the support in the world and to see how far they can get on their own. So we need to make sure we support the right people. We need to make sure we support free speech, free everything, and let's see what ends up happening as time goes on in the gaming industry. But ultimately, these people, Sweet Baby Inc. and everybody like them that are wanting to quell your speech, they want to re-educate you, they want to virtue signal to you, they want to basically nanny you and tell you what you should and should not be offended by. Yeah, we're done. This website now exists and it's here to stay. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.